Colonel Harland Sanders is the late founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. Today, KFC is a wildly popular fast food chain with annual sales that once topped $13.6 billion. However, very few know much about its founder, Colonel Harland Sanders. His life is a testament to what you can accomplish when you never give up. For nearly his entire adult life, Sanders was a failure. He had a very difficult childhood, worked nearly every job possible, and started many businesses that failed. He was born in 1890 in Henryville, Indiana. When he was just 5 years old, his father died, leaving just his mother to support him and his siblings. In 1903, when he was just 13 years old, he left home and worked several jobs, including being things like a farmhand, a streetcar conductor, and even a railroad fireman.
I used to work here on this farm when I was a boy. This was the first job that I ever had. I worked here for Charlie Norris. I was 10 years old at that time. I got $2 a month in my board and room. And I used to room in that room right upstairs there. That's been, what, 65 years ago. He put me to work back here in the woods clearing new ground. And I cleared about an acre, I guess, that month, but there were a lot of squirrels, red birds, butterflies, more things to attract the fellow's attention in the world. And evidently, I didn't clear as much ground as he thought a boy ought to have cleared even. So at the end of that first month, he fired me and sent me home. Said he wouldn't feed me for me. So I went home, took my $2 to my mother. And when I gave her the $2 that I had gotten for the month's work and told her that Mr. Norris had fired me, she gave me a little lecture that I shall never forget. She said, "What on earth are you ever going to amount to? You're my oldest son, the oldest of the 3 children. You've got no father. I got nobody to help me depend on but you. And to think that you're so no count that you couldn't hold a job at $2 a month." Well, time she got through tongue lashing me, I felt just about as low as anybody could have ever felt. And I made a resolve then that I would never let hours or work or anything else ever interfere with me doing the best job as possible. And if I ever got another job, I was sure going to prove to her that I was worthy of it.
Between 1915 and 1930, Sanders tried just about every profession known to man. He was an insurance salesman, he sold tires, and he even operated a ferry boat. In 1930, at the age of 40 years old, he began serving meals in a service station in Corbin, Kentucky. That's where he cooked for travelers in the back of the station. However, in 1955, the Interstate 75 that was sending loads of customer traffic directly to his Corbin restaurant shifted 7 miles. As a result, he had to shut down his chicken restaurant.
When I first came down to this country, this was the first service station that I had. Had a different canopy out front than we have here now, of course. It's been remodeled for a fruit stand. But inside, we had a front room here that's about 15 foot square. And then on this side over here, we had an oil room, like most service stations would have. And immediately back then, in the very back, we had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom there, you see. And then there's a small kitchen about 8 foot square that we had where we done our family cooking. So I built this, after I was here about 30 days, I moved the old dining room table out, don't you see, and the 6 chairs, and decided we'd try to sell some food to some people that was stopping with us. So I fed truck drivers and millionaires all on the same table. I didn't know anything about the restaurant business. I didn't know what table d'hote, a la carte, or any of that meant. So we'd cook meals for the 5 in the family, and then we wouldn't eat it right away ourselves, hoping to sell 1, 2, or 3, or the 5 meals. Sometimes we sold them all out, sometimes we didn't. But I don't care if I had truck drivers sitting down there and here come a doctor. I didn't know who he was. I thought everybody could eat at the same table. I didn't know anything on to be friendly. So that was my first restaurant.
However, during this time, he was working on his famous recipe of 11 herbs and spices, the secret recipe to Kentucky Fried Chicken. At the age of 65, with just $105 to his name, he set out to attempt to franchise his chicken model. He was rejected by 1,009 restaurants. However, it only took 1 to say yes.
I was working for a living. I operated a restaurant for about 25 years, trying to serve the best food that I could serve to the public. That's where I developed my chicken recipe, that I wanted to have the best chicken in my restaurant than any competitor had. So I was on the highway where they go to Florida or the Smoky Mountains, and as they went down to there, I wanted to get them as they come back. And you'd find out surprising how long they forgot all about the price of the food before they go out to Florida. They'd come back again for that good food. And I was listed with Duncan Hines' Adventures of Good Eating. That gave me a very select clientele too. I had a moral obligation to give people something good, something worthwhile, see? And I loved it. And then they come along and surveyed this interstate system. That went 7 miles back of me, left me sitting high and dry. I was 66 years old. I couldn't afford to quit. Of course, when they were talking about it for 3 or 4 years before, it looked like it was going to be a reality. I began to put out a guinea pig franchise because I was thinking, what can I do next? They're going to wipe out this restaurant. And I thought, well, I'll try to franchise the chicken. So by getting 4 or 5 of these guinea pig franchises, I proved to myself that I had a product that would take with the public, profitable to the restaurant man, and also it would go. It was just a mere matter of getting behind it and getting it put over if we could. So if they did survey the system, I was left sitting high and dry, so that wiped me out.
Isn't that something? You know, here's a case where disaster really was a blessing. Something that could have destroyed you, God turned it around, really. I think sometimes people think that, you instead of laying down and dying, when the disaster comes, you can use it as stepping stones to something greater. It's a stepping
stone for something else. There's no question about that. So my question was, what could I save out of that wreck? You see, I knew you want to be wrecked. And the chicken was taken. It's proven it was taken with the public. And all I had to do was stay with it and get it going. I think the moral to my life is don't quit at 65. Maybe your boat hasn't come in yet. See me.
But I understand the Colonel vowed to God to tithe even before he had accepted Christ as his Savior. When he first started Kentucky Fried Chicken, he said, is that true, Colonel?
That's right. I prayed to God that he'd make this thing a success. I had done so many things in life and it played out. Looked like the ferry boat business went out of business when they built a bridge across the river. And my lighting plant business, selling gas lights, when Delco come in, or they had electric lights for the farmer, I couldn't sell mine.
Yeah.
So things just went bad for me all the way along, but I always grabbed up something that I thought was useful and good. And I wanted to be sure that this chicken looked like it was my last chance, because I'm getting pretty well up in years. And if this chicken would make good, I'd see that God got his part of it. But I've given away millions of dollars since then. That's come in as a result of God leading me in my business, no question about it.
In 1964, when he was 73 years old, Sanders sold the Kentucky Fried Chicken Corporation, but he still remained the company's mascot. Although starting from very humble beginnings, he is one of the world's most successful failures out there. It is an incredible legacy of what you can accomplish when you never give up.